You know, everybody has bad luck buying things on eBay. I'm not the only person. I do a lot of reading of how people have been swindled and stuff. But uh, what I complain about in life is I have that face. And when I moved here, I started getting people asking me for money. So I stopped shaving. I wore clothes till they were threadbare. I had a pair of sneakers that my toes were coming out through the sides. And I walk around like that, and nobody would bother me for money. So a buddy of mine was coming up from Florida to do the York train show. So I'd been cleaning the house, organizing my life. I said to myself, let me get all cleaned up, put all new clothes on. I shaved the big beard off and everything. So he comes up and he's laughing. He goes, oh, you're all cleaned up. Because one time when he came up here, I let my beard grow full. And he found that to be, hilarious and disgusting at the same time. So anyway, I'm all shaved and clean. And as we're out there, we're moving some trains out of his car into the house, into my house. So there's room for me. We're going to go out to dinner, and the car is packed from one end to the other with trains. So as we're doing it, some of the neighbors are coming by and stopping their car and saying, "I didn't even recognize you." Being shaved. And it's been a while since they've seen me shaving. And this one girl, she's coming by and she's eyeball to eyeball with me. And she's looking at me. I said, it's me, John. She goes, oh, she says, I wasn't sure if it was you. Well, anyway, so we're in the car and we're driving off to eat. My friend is going on. He goes, they don't recognize you. I said, well, I let myself really go bad because I don't want to be bothered. I tell him this whole story. So he leaves. He goes back to Florida. And the next day, I'm at the dollar store, and I'm in line, and the guy turns around to me and he goes, "I need 17 cents," and I'm like, "Here we go." And this girl that's waiting, the teller, I've told her the story. That's why I don't shave, because people just stare at me like they actually know me, like they've known me for 20 years, and they'll ask me for money. And I said, no, I don't carry any money with me. I said I use the card now because of coronavirus. Well, anyway, he didn't believe me. He's mumbling, going on. He was a local druggie living in the woods, and he was buying cigarette lighters, a package of 3 cigarette lighters, and he was 17 cents short. So he shot out of the place, and he went up to one of the people in the shopping mall, and he got some money, and then he came back, and he was checking out. And I think he was a little short. The woman let him go. And he's looking over at me and mumbling. But I do have that face. I have a face where, the what was his, John Ritter look? I'll say sort of like John Ritter, clean cut. And people actually feel like they've known me or they know me. And I find it very annoying. And if I was into selling cars or insurance or something, maybe that would be okay. To look like that. But when you're out walking around for exercise, and there's people in Lancaster that get off the buses and they're homeless, they live in the hotels, and they'll just spot me, come up to me and start their nonsense. And sometimes when I'm cleaning the street, they'll come up and stand there and tell me a long-winded story, and they want money. But I said, look at my shoes. And I said, look at my shoes, and there's my sneakers, my newbies, and my toes are actually coming out through the sides of the shoe. That's how worn they were. And that stopped it, man. Anytime somebody would start asking me for money, I said, look at your shoes, now look at my shoes. And that's how I stopped it. It was like, after a while, I had like this karma. Nobody would actually ask me because my feet were coming out through the shoes. All my clothing was threadbare. Oh, I had this really disgusting hat. I can't show it to you. I finally threw it out. But the hat was so sweat soaking. It looked like I was a truck driver. Okay, and I'd have that on, and it's funny stuff. But people always tend to say things they shouldn't say to me. Now, the other day, the town changed Halloween. It usually is a Friday. Well, they had kickback and different people. Last year it rained. So Halloween ended up being like 3 days. And the real Halloween, I think, was Sunday. It got rained out Friday. So I was out there in the rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the only reason I was out there was because I had bought like $100 worth of candy or whatever. So this year, I cut back on the candy, but candy went up in price. So I had $80 worth of Kit Kat bars. So I put the weather map on. It's going to rain. I put the weather map on. I zoom in over my area, and I notice this is large area of no rain coming our way. And I run the map on the other website. I run the map, and there it shows that open area coming over. So I go out there, and it's still raining. I got my umbrella over the candy. I got a chair, and I'm sitting there. I got the umbrella. And the guy next door is complaining to me. His girlfriend's got him coming out there. And I said, look, the only reason I'm out here is I bought $80 worth of Kit Kat bars. I don't want to bring them back into the house. You know, well, he bought, for $9 or something, they got 100 something pieces. That's what they said to me. I'm like, $9 and something? When I was a kid, I got whole candy bars. So I'm still carrying the flame. I mean, my Kit Kats aren't single. They're the little double bite sizes. Well, anyway, I give him more than one, too. So in other words, I'm sitting there, and he's complaining to me that his girlfriend made him come out there because I'm out there. I said, well, look at the weather map. I said, it's going to stop. So he calls up his iPhone, and he's like, it's all green. Look, it's all. I said, no, zoom in. And he didn't want it. At that point, he's like, he made a statement. It's all green. It's not going to. So I'm walking around because my feet swell if I sit or stand too long. So I'm sort of walking around the driveway, talking to people. I hear him go, it stopped raining. It stopped. So it stopped. It totally stopped. And at the end of the night, when Halloween was over, it's only 2 hours here, it started raining again. It did that once or twice before. The skies open up, then it stops raining, the kids come out, and then the sky opens up again. Now, the guy that lived next door, on the other side, he had all his Halloween stuff out there. I said, I said to the guy, in 5 minutes it's going to rain like you can't believe. And he's like looking up at the sky. I said, no, seriously. I finished my candy thing, and I ran in and looked at the map real quick. I said, it's really coming. It's going to be really bad. I went out there, and then I heard it start. You could hear it, like coming down the back, raining, hitting the trees. And I said, get in the house, because he's going to want you to help him put his stuff away. And I'm not getting soaked. So sure enough, I hear him scrambling and screaming out there, because he got kicked out by his wife. But he used to put out a lot of Halloween stuff. But I have that face where people, they feel as though they can say anything to me. And maybe my skin is a little thinner, but they do, because when I'm with someone else walking along, somebody will walk up to me and start saying stuff. And the person, I say no, and I get rid of him. We walk, and the guy turns to me and goes, do you know him? I said, never seen him before. I said, there are people out there that when they see me and my body language, they feel like they've known me, and they'll ask me for something ridiculous. All right? Now, here's an example. I might have told you this before, but I'm out there, and I'm talking to my neighbor, and this woman comes by, and she calls me over, and the guy that I walked with that died, his house was for rent. He's dead. It got sold. They have it for rent. And she calls me over to talk about the house, but that's not what she wanted. She then stops about talking about the house, and she says, I need to borrow a pair of hedge clippers or clippers to cut my bush. I'm like, who are you? I'm like, no. I said, all the stuff I have is real sharp and real dangerous. So she says, well, I'm not going to be using it. She says, I want you to come over and cut them. I said, I ain't doing that. I said, I did that years ago. And that's like I said, I got that look. Okay? So anyway, she's out walking in the neighborhood. She come by. I've never seen her walk before, but she's going to go around a couple times and keep stopping. And I guess you don't loan stuff to people you don't know. I said, where do you live? She points out and says, that's a rental. She says, well, my landlord won't come and cut the bush, and it's bothering me. I'm like, I really feel bad for you. I really do. I said, if it bothers you bad enough, go up to Harbor Freight. It's around the corner. Go buy a pair of clippers and come back and cut the bush. She just rolls her eyes. Okay? But my story about going to Harbor Freight and getting a pair of clippers is just as ludicrous as her trying to borrow stuff from me, and then she wants me to come over and actually do it. But I have that face. Okay? That's why in my video, I don't put my face in my video. I did certain things years ago, and I started getting people inviting themselves to my house. Okay, now there are guys on the internet that actually have parties for people that are Patreons. I don't do the Patreon thing. I do these videos just to give you a chuckle, just so you know what I go through, and then you can compare it to what you go through. I think that's it. All right, that's it.